All right, so Mr. Martinez, you were charged with operation of a stash house. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 24th, 2024, officers were dispatched to an apartment in Harris County, Texas. The officer located 5 adult complainants locked in a bedroom while conducting a welfare check. The officer observed the defendant to be the sole person in the apartment that was not locked in the bedroom. The officer determined the apartment to be under the control of the defendant. All complainants gave similar statements and stated they were held in the locked bedroom without the ability to come and go freely. The complainants were all found to be in possession of identifying documents, but their cell phones had been taken away. The complainants stated if they needed to leave the bedroom, they had to knock on the door and be led through the apartment, sometimes with a bag over their head, by one of 2 males in charge. The defendant stated he lived at a location with another male, but that he did not know the other male very well. The defendant denied knowing the 5 people in the apartment. He stated they were dropped off in the morning that day, but he did not know who dropped them off. The defendant was found with $5,959 on his person, and the officer further observed the door where the complainants were being held could only be locked and unlocked from outside. The room was bare of any furniture, no mattresses were in the room, with only 3 pillows and multiple blankets, and a large sheet of plywood covering the window. The officer also found the room had no working light. The officer observed a desk in the dining area with 4 envelopes with names and $3,600 written on them, containing cash, a total of $11,200.
Let's do this. Mr. Martinez, I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. I'm going to have to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. Just take a seat for me. We'll come back to you. So I was, come on up. I was going to do a deeper dive on it to see whether there's probable cause. It's the first time I've seen something like this.
Yeah, same here, Judge.
Do you mind do you have somewhere else to go?
I do.
Can you go do that and just come back maybe
Yes,
in
sir.
like an hour? Let me blow through all the arraignments and then
No
we'll
problem.
sit.
I'm going to just let my client know and I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, I want to open the code. Let's go through it and take time, you know? Yeah, okay, sure.
All right, just trying to say your area.
Ready? Hey, Morgan. So I'd like to do PC on this case. This is that stash house.
Yes, we're actually talking to Nathan about that right now.
Nathan,
Yes, sir.
this is a very, it's a first for me.
Okay.
A stash house.
Yeah,
Have you seen this before?
I have, but not for a long time.
And I gotta understand,
I'm looking it up right now.
why is it not higher up? It's
No,
not
most
like
staff
feds?
houses are misdemeanors. It's strange. Most staff houses are. I teach at the police academy. That's why I know.
Okay, we have to do probable cause, and, you know,
I'm looking it up. I'm going to try and find the pleading itself right now.
okay.
And tell you.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. What was his name again?
Mr. So it's called, I think it's Adolfo on there, but it's Anulfo.
That's right. Mr. Martinez, come on up.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content.
Okay. Shh. All right, Mr. Martinez, you were charged with operating a stash house. I wanted to make sure that your lawyer was here when we did probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Here we go.
Yes, sir. On November 24th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to an apartment in Harris County, Texas. The officer located 5 adult complainants locked in bedroom while conducting welfare check. The officer observed the defendant to be the sole person in the apartment, not locked in the bedroom. The officer determined the apartment to be under the control of the defendant. The complainants were all found to be in possession of identifying documents, but cell phones had been taken away. The complainant stated if they needed to leave the bedroom, they had to knock on the door and be led through the apartment, sometimes with a bag over their head, by one of two males in charge. The defendant stated he lives at the location with another male, but does not know the other male very well.
Okay, whoa. So the defendant says that he lives
At that location,
at the location,
but he does not know the second male that also lives at the location.
doesn't know him well, or
Doesn't
doesn't?
know him well.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes. And the defendant denied knowing the 5 people in the apartment. Instead, they were dropped off in the morning, and that he did not know who dropped them off. The defendant was found with approximately $6,000 on his person, and the officer observed the door where the complainants were to be unable to be locked or unlocked from the inside, only able to be locked from the outside. The room where the complainants were found was free of any furniture, with no mattresses on the floor, and only 3 pillows and multiple blankets. Officers also found a large sheet of plywood covering the window and no working light bulbs. The officer observed a desk in the dining area with 4 envelopes with names in 3,600 written on them containing cash, a total of 11,200. Officers also found a brown wooden baseball bat on the desk with the envelopes.
If I may, Your Honor. So my understanding is that I guess the code says that he has to own the property or rent it, but he was actually renting a room from the guy that lived at that apartment. So he had only paid 1 month of rent to the guy and was going on his 2nd month. He, from my understanding, didn't know who those people were. They had gotten dropped off that morning, and he hadn't left for work yet, was my understanding, that day when the officers showed up. And that's all I know from what I gathered. But he had been living there, and there hadn't been people there until that morning when they arrived, that the officers then arrived at the home.
Did the officers interview him at all?
Interviewed the defendant?
Uh-huh.
Yes, Your Honor, and that's whenever he told them that he lived at the location, but did not know the person very well, and that he did not know the 5 people inside. And the officer found them locked in the bedroom, but he denied knowing who they were.
So it says here, person commits an offense if the person knowingly, 1, uses or permits another to use any real estate, building, room, tent, vehicle, boat, or other property owned by the person or under the person's control to commit an offense, or to facilitate the commission of an offense under.
Which is just, those other sections are smuggling or trafficking.
Right. Or rents or leases any property to another, intending that the property be used as subdivision 1.
Which would be him allowing them to use the property for such commission of alleged offense, but it wasn't his. I guess my issue is that it wasn't his property. He was not on the renting order.
And Your Honor, the officers found him to be under the property to be under his control, as they found him to be the only person on the premises at that time, not locked in the bedroom. So yeah, that's why it was the officer's conclusion that he was in control of the property at the time.
What evidence do we, Nathan,
Yes.
what evidence do we have that he knows the persons are being trafficked or being held
Well, in these cases, typically, Judge, somebody's not gonna come out and say, I know everybody's being trafficked in this room. It's gonna be a matter of circumstances, the totality of the circumstances, I would say, to make that out. And I believe, Judge, based upon the information that we have, that we're at least there for probable cause standard.
And if I may, I did go ahead and read the entire DIM summary, and the complaining witnesses that were found in the home did describe 2 individuals, none of which meet the description of my client. They said one of them was a young male with glasses and an older man with a white beard, is what the 2 individuals told the officers.
And Your Honor, in the full DIMS, the complainant one described the.
So hold on a second, because are you telling me that the people who are held captive are saying that it's another 2 people who are acting?
Your Honor, there was a description giving older with gray hair, a round face, and a beard, and the officer observed the description given to fit the physical description of the defendant. So there was a description given by the complainant, and the officer observed it to match the defendant.
Well, at the time he got arrested, he didn't have a beard, so because the mugshot doesn't show a beard, so I would assume. I mean, I would have to see what they said. I just don't think it's.
I think he's there. He's alone. There's $11,000. I mean.
The other thing too is, Judge, it's my understanding, based upon ADA Farmer's recent, I guess, knowledge of the statute, that it's modified to felony in some cases, which we may be refining this case as a felony. I always try to warn, I'll just say less experienced defense attorneys when you're dealing with an ultimate probable cause argument. Sometimes it comes back worse when you look at the felonies, which I think may happen in that case. That last year, early.
Be careful what you wish for.
So the statute has changed. I haven't seen what the statute says now, but
Are you telling me that it changed? Does it change January 1st?
It looks like there was an amendment in February. It's still in our system, under our pleadings. It's still looking like a Class A misdemeanor, but when you read the Texas Penal Code, under section 20.07, it is a 3rd-degree felony, and that was amended in February.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Under 2026. All right, so, Mr. Martinez, I am going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to engage in this behavior, not to be in possession of any weapons. If you pick up a new case, if I find you with a weapon, if you engage in this type of behavior, I will put you in jail. I will not give you any more PR bonds. I don't know what your status in this country is, but if you're in this country without permission and you go to jail, and immigration finds you while you are in custody, they will put an immigration detainer on you, and you will be stuck in custody until the case is over with and then shipped off to immigration. You are on notice now that I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my county. I don't care who, what, when, where, but if I find that you're a public danger, then I will put you in custody. Do you understand? You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with counsel, and they will tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me that they are unable to reach you because you're not responding to phone calls, text messages, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. No more PR bonds for you, sir. So we'll just have him sign the bond conditions, and then he's free to go with you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. And so for what it's worth, it is now a 3rd-degree felony. So I don't know how it's still a Class A at this moment. So
Correct.
that is charged as an A versus a 3rd degree.
Correct. Let me look into
So
that.
yeah, okay. All right, sir. Do not leave, Roberto. If you can tell him, don't leave until he signs bond conditions, please. And then if you can follow those, please.
And just to clarify, no engaging in like behavior and no weapons.
No weapons, right? Yeah. And no going back to this particular house.
Yeah.